different risks and vulnerabilities that businesses may have in the cyber realm. There are lots of bad things that can happen to a business if they succumb to cybercrime or a vulnerability in their cybersecurity. They are exposed by theft of the intellectual property of the company, personal data and trade secrets. Bank accounts can be seized. Fraudulent transactions can be conducted with respect to the company's accounts, whether they be bank accounts or business customer accounts. There can be either malicious software, viruses, or worms that can cause destructive activity to the computer systems. That can result in a loss of data. It can result in interruption of the ability of the business to operate. And there are also some competitive factors. There are corporate or economic espionage issues. There are competitors who may try and gain advantages by disrupting or destroying the computer systems of their competitors. And then there is the whole area of employees, disgruntled employees, former employees, soon-to-be former employees, and the rather unique risks that they pose to a company of any size, whatever the nature of the business, because it's a more personal attack and a more targeted attack. The threats can come from a variety of sources. And we're going to hear later, Bill gets all the fun stuff to talk about the recent cyber breaches and who they were committed by or who people think they're committed by. Many of the cyber breaches are not actually traced, and it's not really clear who committed them, and the businesses are less concerned with who committed them than how to deal with the mitigation of the damage that's occurred and what their legal compliance obligations may be. But the type of people that are going to be conducting cyber crimes are hackers, hacktivists, which is kind of modified. It's a new phrase. It's one of these cyber phrases. People that are hacking for political purposes, to make a statement, to make a political or any type of position. There have been a number of them after the WikiLeaks scandal, and also after some of the different political issues coming around in the world. There have been some people that have hacked in order to change websites, put political statements up on websites. So those are hacktivists. They're criminals. I was at a program on criminal law enforcement efforts. It was put on at Seton Hall University in June and sponsored by the Bergen County Prosecutor's Office. And they were talking about some joint task force efforts between state, local, county law enforcement, and the FBI and the federal government. And the concerns that cybercrime faces with gangs and criminal enterprises are immense. I mean, the ability to use, we were talking about facial recognition software, and that if a police database is hacked, then they can have the ability to identify undercover policemen and what a risk that poses in law enforcement. And there are all sorts of technologies that are amazing but scary when in the wrong hands, with cyber tagging, where you can take a handheld device and put a mark on a wall that says that the security guard changes at whatever shift time, and it's an electronic message that when someone else comes, and then you can use the criminals use some of these social networks in order to send messages and communicate and say, go here and go there and claim the message, and this information can be communicated in ways that law enforcement is really struggling to face. Fortunately, hopefully most of our businesses aren't going to be the more likely targets of these type of enterprises. There are also more concern for the government. There are foreign nations that are engaging in hacking activities, and terrorists. The targets are not only the government, but any of the critical infrastructure in the sectors like the financial markets, transportation, and utilities. Interestingly, in May, the Pentagon made an intellectual and legal determination that a cyber act can be an act of war. And they've gone through and they made the statement in May, and they actually issued a cyberspace plan and policy last week. Some of it is classified, but parts of it are not classified. And they went through an analysis to determine under the different treaties and rules for international warfare of whether terrorist act could qualify, and they do. And they've made the determination that if the government is threatened by either cyber crime or a cyber terroristic threat or attack, that they can make a determination of appropriate force in response to that.